this week, our tip is about connecting with nature. And I really want to say connecting with the living. So one of the things that people are encouraged to do is to take either and this can be a photograph or a living thing. I do think that there's something more powerful in it being a living thing, but sometimes when you need to take that mindfulness moment, you either don't have access to something that's living, like maybe you're stuck in traffic and you just need a moment, or maybe you think of it, it's 11:30 at night and you're in bed and you're like, I can't get to a florist right now. But having something like a flower or a picture of a flower and looking at it for 30 seconds to a minute and just giving yourself the opportunity to gaze at it. Let your mind go wherever it is and notice the thoughts that come up. You can interact with the thoughts, although it's better to think of shoving them to the side. Just notice them like they're cars on the freeway and you're just letting them go by. You're not negating them, but if you get into a discussion with them, right? That's what I always do, is that the thought will go by. I'll go, oh, that flower is so pretty. It reminds me of that orange thing. And I go, oh, it's a car going by. And then I'll say, keep going. And I start a conversation with it. But if it's easier, if you just notice the thought going by, oh, having another thought, and go back to the flower. Now you can do this with a flower, you can do it with a leaf, you can do this with an animal. See, it all ties together here, right? That if you've got your dog, your pet, a bird, whatever, you just are allowing your gaze to look at them. There are all kinds of things that we never take the opportunity to really notice. And by the way, this could, again, it could be a tree, but a fish, anything. But when you take a second to look at something that is living, and even if it's a picture of it, it's still a living thing, you notice beauty. Unending beauty. I remember looking at somebody's collie once and thinking, my goodness, look at all the colors that are in the face of a collie. If we could go to the hairdresser and order that kind of hair color, it would be thousands of dollars, but it's stunning. And the collie comes out and just has that coloring. There is something so amazing in nature when you look at a flower and you look at the symmetry of a flower. It is overwhelming and stunning. Now, in the beginning, like I said, your head is going to comment. You're going to have thoughts like, oh, that would cost a lot in the salon, right? Just try to let those thoughts be, and notice them and don't get hung up on them, and keep bringing yourself back to the wholeness of whatever the thing is that you're looking at. And don't judge yourself or the thing, but what you will find is there is some deeper connection with things that happen in nature that help to center us and to calm us. I don't know whether it's just the pure awe of it. I hope in your life you've been able to be someplace where just the vista of what is in front of you is so amazing that it's awesome because it's just that amazing. Whether you get to a national park and you see sun coming through leaves, but there are so many things in the world that we could focus on that are negative, and to see what is already created for us and that still exists that we haven't ruined is hopeful. There is something about it that lets you know that you're part of a bigger scheme, and that all the thoughts and feelings that you're having, while valid and true, they're not the whole picture. And I think that that's the core of mindfulness, as I'm coming to understand it, is that, sometimes we get like right here with the binoculars, or I have, one of my teachers of mine talks about the toilet paper tube or the paper towel tube that you're looking down and you're seeing, oh, my child has autism and I'm not getting the services that I need, and it's everything. But when we take the minute to be mindful, we realize there's a lot going on in the world that is not It's not negating what's happening in that paper towel tube. That's for real. And we need to deal with it, but it's not the only thing that's going on. And that I can attest to lowers my blood pressure. When I get right there and I'm like, I gotta do this, and why isn't this happening? How's it ever gonna work? To look at the bigger picture and to realize that, here's a leaf. And this leaf is still making it happen, and that tree is still making leaves pop out. And even though that tree might get cut down, there's still other trees. It's a powerful, powerful thing. So connect, commune with nature. It doesn't have to be longer than 30 seconds, but if you've got the time to spend more than 30 seconds, it's very, very useful. And don't judge yourself if you find yourself looking at the leaf and going, well, this is stupid, and this is not happening, and how nice for Shannon that she sees all the possibilities and the hope, but I'm not feeling it. It's okay. I still think that when you're done with that 30 seconds, you will go back to whatever you're doing feeling better. And if you keep doing it and keep looking at, maybe in 2 months, you'll be able to look at the leaf and take a deep breath and go, it really is amazing. But don't judge yourself in the meantime. If it seems ridiculous, it's okay. You're still taking time for you. It's still useful.